What you can see here is Singapore. This is Singapore, and this is their export total for a particular year, and the same year for Nigeria. So look at that, in $1 billion, 299, and this is Nigeria, $63 billion. Oh my goodness, that is really massive difference. Nigeria is a country of about 200 million people, and that is really staggering. And in terms of land area as well, the land area of Nigeria is massive compared to that of Singapore. And if you look at another country in West Africa, have for example of Ghana, and Ghana 22 billion, and Ghana as well in terms of land size, in terms of population, far bigger than Singapore. Why is it that over the years in Africa we haven't really made good decisions? Think about the main export of this country. Look at Ghana: gold, crude oil, cocoa. Similar story. Nigeria: crude oil, cocoa, gold, and scrap vessels. Scrap vessel isn't really anything. It's not really anything that you produce. It's just vessels that we possibly brought from other country and then no longer needed, send them back, or we use them to bring goods from other country, or we want to look at Singapore. Look at electronic a product. These are not kind of like a raw materials. These are finished product. For us in Africa is mainly raw material we're sending out. And when you think about all of these semiconductor devices, machines, machinery, broadcasting equipment, industrial printer, photo lab, they do have export gold as well, and that gold possibly might even be gold that they have bought from Africa somewhere, and they are sending using it to produce finished product and sending exporting it away. And then you have crude, refined petroleum, they possibly import crude oil, and then they refine them. And basically the difference between Nigeria and Ghana, similar story, and compared to countries like Singapore, is that they are producing things. We are not producing anything. And you can even, most of the resources that we export abroad, most of them which are raw material, are even resources that the biggest company that are petroleum mining company, diamond mining company, gold mining company. Majority of these companies, they are companies that are been there since the colonial time, and these are companies that are not, they're foreign company as well. Can you really blame them? No, you can't really blame them. Africa is what we have to just blame ourselves, and not blaming colonization or imperialism. No, not really. We just have to blame ourselves. We have to blame our lack of intellectual capacity or ability to be able to make the right decision in terms of developing our nations. And it's just really beyond belief that Singapore, a tiny country, can be exporting this much, and Nigeria, that is far richer in natural resources, in human resources and land. We cannot diversify and even produce in other than just raw materials that we are just sending out. Just look at the oil seed, cocoa, gold. And if you're looking at Ghana and Nigeria as an example, it's just similar story in most of the sub-Saharan African country. And Africa, we definitely need to do better. We just have a lot of work to do to be able to take ourselves into among the countries of the world who are manufacturing, who are producing, and not just consuming. And when you're not contributing to the world in terms of really product and services, you're not really, your economy is always going to be behind the country that are producing. Hope somebody find this video useful, and thanks for watching, and God bless.